Alright, time now 6 p.m. and we'll call to order the Little Fire District Board meeting on July 24th. Alright. So we have roll call of directors.
President Garvin,
Here.
Vice President Smith,
Here.
Secretary Pratt,
Here.
Treasurer Travis is not present. We'll call on Director Hyde after.
The fifth pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice.
Thank you. Next up, we have changed the agenda. I would propose the swearing in of our new board members and election of our board officers up at front of the agenda.
So moved.
Good. And yeah, we're good there. Anybody else have any motions to the agenda? Alright, that will go to swearing in and I'll
stand up. You stand between the two flags, please.
Your brothers.
Oh, wait.
Alright. Director Crowell, maybe first. Carrington, the certificate of election, Carrington County Clerk of Yamhill County does hereby certify that a special election held in Yamhill County on the 20th day of May 2025, Ray Pratt was duly elected to the office of McMinnville Fire District Director, position 4, the term to begin on or after July 1st, 2025. So now we'll do your swearing in. I, Ray Pratt, have been duly elected to the office of McMinnville Fire District Director, position 4.
And duly elected to the McMinnville Fire District, position 4.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
the laws thereof,
and I will faithfully and honorably
and I will faithfully and honorably
perform the duties of Director
perform the duties of Director
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Sworn in. Alright, Director Ryder. Gotta read the preamble first. Carrington County Clerk of Yamhill County does hereby certify that a special election held in Yamhill County on the 20th day of May 2025, Todd Hyder was duly elected to the office of McMinnville Fire District Director, position 2, the term to begin on or after July 1st, 2025. I, Todd Hyder, have been duly elected to the office of McMinnville Fire District Director, position 2, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Oregon, and the laws thereof, and I will faithfully and honestly perform the duties of Director to the best of my ability. Director Hyder, you're welcome, and we gotta get some signatures.
We can do that. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, so now we have election of our different board seats, and we'll start with president and vice president, secretary and treasurer. I did speak with treasurer draft today. He's asked if we'll excuse, but he said he's interested. Retaining that seat once somebody else had interest in it. Just for clarification. So first up, we have the position of president. I'll open nominations for that. Anybody can be nominated. You can nominate yourself if you want. And need a second to any nomination. And then I'll close nominations. After a final call for nominations, and we'll vote on October nominations.
I'll make a nomination. I'd like to nominate Adam Garvin to be reelected as McMinnville Fire District Board President.
Thank you, Director Smith. And any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close nominations. Actually, I need a second for that.
Second.
With that, alright, so we have a first, Vice President Smith and a second by Director Hyder for Adam Garvin to be nominated as president of the fire board. Last call for any other nominations. Hearing now, close nomination, and now we'll vote on Adam Garvin being president of the fire district board. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. For Adam Garvin to retain his president. Next up, we have vice president's seat open for nomination. I would like to nominate Director Smith to retain his seat as vice president. The Middle Fire District Board. And entertain a second or any other nomination.
That's it.
Thank you, Director Pratt. Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close nominations for vice president. All those in favor of Director Smith being McMinnville Fire District Board Vice President, please vote saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Congratulations, Director Smith, for your willingness. Next up, we have the office of secretary and all of the nominations for the secretary position.
I'll nominate Ray Pratt to continue his role as Secretary of McMinnville Fire.
That. Done a very good job, right? You appreciate reviewing all of that. Any other nominations? Close nominations for secretary and. Oh.
I have to say. Oh.
You know, we
Right. Say.
Close nominations for secretary and all those in favor of Brandon Pratt maintaining his secretary seat for the Middle Fire District Board, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No.
You still will love us.
Was that 4-0 or do you want?
That's what it is.
4-0 for Director Pratt as secretary. Next up, we have the office of treasurer, held by Director Pratt. I'll open nominations for treasurer position.
I would nominate Josh Trapp to continue his role as treasurer for fires.
And the second by Secretary Pratt. Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing now, I'll close nominations and all those in favor of Treasurer Trapp retaining his treasurer seat for the Middle Fire Board, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion passes 4-0. Appreciate looking at the formalities of these meetings. that'll take us to our consent agenda, or whatever minutes from our June 26th regular meeting, and our June 30th emergency meeting. That was a very brief meeting around the family. The board has had the opportunity to review the minutes. I would entertain a motion to pass it to the agenda as presented.
Mr. President, I compared the minutes to my notes and they're looked accurate. They moved to approve both.
Alright, there's a motion by Secretary Pratt to approve this position as presented. I'll second it. Second by Vice President Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. Agenda passed 4-0. Next up, we have our financial report. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll start with the easy ones real quick. You guys talked about the trail loan meeting. Thank you, and thank you to our partners at both First Federal, as well as special districts, David Olbrich. We have completed and the trail loan has funded for the second year. We've got a great partnership with both SDAO and First Federal, and they work very hard to get that completed. Quick update on the audit. Michelle has the audit. We have a draft audit right now. We're reviewing that draft audit. We've got a couple things bringing back to them, or a couple questions, I should say. Once we reply back to them, then we, by board policy, will have 2 board members that will be part of our committee that will review that report with myself, Michelle, and we'll talk about who else here a little bit, but our finance personnel. And then from there, it will be presented to the board, usually by one of those committee members. So we will be getting that to you here in the very near future. And then last in front of you, we just got this yesterday, but I thought it was important to bring up for a couple of different reasons. Jenny does a great job with our ambulance billing and reporting. I thought this was great to show everybody again as we talk about ambulance billing, and quite frankly, the lack thereof, which I'll get in a second. But this really does show how our crews work and how hard our billing Jenny works, as well as the company that we contract. We're up another 7% in both calls as well as calls billed. And as you can see, we had some pretty high months where we were 13 and 15 and 19% up. But on average, 7%. I bring that up and I state that because our discussions moving forward really need to be around ambulance billing, ambulance collection. We're working on a project right now, finance and myself are working on a project right now. I have very preliminary numbers, but as I've stated before, we bill about $14 million a year, up from 10.5 2 fiscal years ago. But we still only receive about 4 million, just over 4 million of that money, writing off over $10 million in ambulance revenue. These are rough numbers, but I think point to talk about. We're subsidizing out of the general fund about $3.8 million annually to the ambulance. That's important for a couple of reasons. Our full taxable revenue from the McMinnville Fire District is just over $8 million. So almost 50% of our income is going to subsidize the lack of funding for the ambulances. And that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable here or anywhere for that matter. I say that because we've worked very hard over the last 2 years. Crews have worked hard, getting in service quicker, running all the calls, less move-ups, less outside area ambulances taking our calls. Our billing department has worked. We have added, changed, and changed the way we deployed ambulances to all ALS ambulances now, with very few exceptions. Got the day car fully staffed. We have done everything we can do operationally to continue to bring in more revenue in the ambulance. But the budget's not going to support $3.8 billion annually of our taxable income. Running one engine company, we are the lowest in the amount of fire response of any of our competitors by far. As you all know, we did just go to a 3-person engine company only 4-ish months ago. And we really need to increase that for both a fire protection standpoint as well as response time standpoint. Still operating out of one fire station and with only one fire engine, we have every day back-to-back calls. That's not an anomaly, that's every day. So having those resources, our staff chiefs, our battalion chief, we've changed deployment models, so our battalion chief doesn't go on certain calls now, so he can manage the district, manage the ambulances, and quite frankly, go on a second call that an engine company should be helping our medics on. The other issue is that $3.8 billion comes specifically from the McMinnville taxpayers, but yet we run the ambulances in 5 other cities or districts that don't subsidize in any way, shape, or form. Now, admittedly, the largest number of calls for our ambulances come out of our fire district. That is true. But the McMinnville taxpayers solely support those 5 other districts because, unlike prior to 2005, where ambulances were profitable, they're not profitable anywhere. This is not a McMinnville Fire District issue. President Garvin, myself, and many others here have met with Berkeley's office, Salinas' office, Rep. Elmer's offices, commissioners. I mean, this is not a secret. I don't want it to be a secret. I don't have the answer. I can tell you I'm working hard to try and find an answer. I'm working hard, as is other jurisdictions from OFCA and those types of individuals. But I don't think we're going to change Medicare and Medicaid funding, which is 80% of our issue today. But we do have to find a different funding source and a more sustainable funding source for the ambulance, or the ambulance will not be sustainable, nor will the fire district as been operated. So I tell you that as a heads up. I will bring solutions. We are working very hard and have worked very hard on it for many months now. And we'll continue to work hard. But I want this board to know up front that losing $10 million in ambulance revenue from Medicare and Medicaid predominantly, and subsidizing the budget by almost 50% of our taxable income is unsustainable. So we'll continue to work. As I've told all the reps, the senators, and such, we are here to be part of the solution. And we will continue to work on that solution. But any input that any of you have, any great ideas that any of you have, we're all open. But we are actively working on exact numbers and maybe some paths forward, if you will. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. Yes.
So GEMT, I know we worked really hard to maximize our collection of GEMT. Is there room in there to improve that funding source? And are there concerns that might equal away any cuts in Medicare and Medicaid?
It's a great question. It is slowly going away. They had actually attempted, it just got overturned, or I should say, put back to fee-for-service calls versus they were going to give you a flat fee. They implemented that last year. I think they got very significant pushback, and they realized how bad it would hurt districts. So they've gone back to the fee-for-service for now. But yes, Medicare, Medicaid, and GEMT. The other thing that will affect that is as public ambulance providers come into the mix. I'll use our neighboring department, very large department, 33,000 calls a year, As they add ambulances, that GEMT money is a set amount of money, total purse, if you will. As you add public entities, that number doesn't change, it gets distributed amongst all of us with the same amount of money. So we don't add 5 million to that to cover that. I don't know the number, I'm gonna say 10 million because it's not even close. But that 10 million now goes to 20 agencies instead of 19 or 18%. So we're seeing that now too. And as private ambulances, and you've all seen it, continually to go away from 911 ambulance transports, you see more public entities having to step up to the plate. But that money's not growing. It's being disseminated to a greater pool, and it's going down from Medicare.
And can you articulate the challenges around private insurance? Rate setting?
Not as well as my she can.
Just understand,
She very much tracks it. She's much more the expert.
I think just one of our standards challenges around that funding source too. So that's there.
And they are working on that, as you know, but we didn't get all that we wanted this year at the Capitol, but we got some good things, of course. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the financial report? Hearing none, I'll take us to our public comment portion meeting, when we have for statements, citizens, very district business. We ask beyond 53 minutes, but give them like and through go along. Think we have to do raise your hand, public comment. Are you not there? Anybody in the room? Public comment? Hearing none, we will close public comment. That'll take us to our business action required items, which is approval of the $57,000, $489 payment to the city related to the first rate buy down. That was from when we were still a city department. Call on Administrative Services Director Michelle T. to brief.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, this is a request for reimbursement from the city for buyer's share of the amount of the current payment due on a note. And this was taken out in 2016 to pay PERS transition liability. And that is a liability that's incurred or was incurred when the city joined the state and local government rate pool. What happens is PERS looks at the level of funding of the entity that's joining relative to the pool. That's commonly called an unfunded liability. The city took out the loan, if you will, to buy down the interest rate and to save interest on the amount that was due to PERS. So, like I said, or like the agenda shows, the amount due is $57,489.20, and we would need a motion to approve payment of this.
A couple of questions of clarity.
Sure.
One, what's the center budget?
PERS is in our budget, the exact amount. I can't tell you the exact amount, but yes, PERS was budgeted.
80 cents. Yes. And then second was our share of the payment for the monthly fire district part of the separation from tax community.
Yes, we did agree to pay our share of each payment under the IGA.
And do we know what our payment on that
It's another 3 years, I think.
So 3 additional years.
Yes, and this. But I have no further questions, but all of them. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve action item number A is presented for the first item.
I'll make that motion to be approved with action item as written approval for $57,489.
Alright, we have a motion on the floor by Vice President Smith, second.
Second.
and by Director Eric. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that'll always go up July every year, probably.
Yes.
Next up, we have our other business, non-action items. And then we have, low staff treasure trap is absent tonight, but, you have anything you'd like to share tonight? Nothing on low staff, board information report. Any board information report? And, next up, we have our bargaining reports and work with local 3099. Captain Quinlan in the room, if you'd like to share.
I just have a quick deal. Now we have a new director on board. I appreciate your time. The local appreciates your time. The members here, we know that your coworker can tell you how much of that it is. I also want to extend a thank you, a sincere thank you to Director Sparrow for his time serving on the board, and all of you for your time. So it's a huge lift. You know that, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
You and anything for volunteers? All right, now we have our fire chief report.
Chief Kirby?
Give a quick fire prevention update. It's kind of that time of the season, time of the year. We have a lot of events going on, so been working closely with the fair staff and Janet and her team, and gearing up for the fair next week. It's an exciting time for us. We have a pretty large presence at the fair, both with EMS standby and fire prevention. So we actually just staged the safety house and the MCI trailers this afternoon, kind of get in there early before it gets busy. So if you guys get an opportunity, it'd be cool to have you guys swing by. It's always a good time. And we're gonna have dedicated power this year, so Chief and I don't sweat our time. So we had a really great turnout with our fire and life safety team. We put a staff request out. We have full staffing for all 4 days, which is fantastic. We had a little difficult last year, so that was exciting. Another upcoming event that's always the big one is we do have National Night Out. That's mark your calendars. That's Tuesday, August 5th, Discovery Meadows, 5 p.m. So we'll have usually we bring the truck, popcorn wagon, and a safety house in the booth. So that's always a fun time. It's usually hot that day too. So, and then on the fire marshal front, pretty exciting news. Our division's been working closely with the chief's office and actually the local. We appreciate their involvement on a new program called Science Engine. So fire district, we signed a contract with a company called Dreiser, and they have a program called Science Engine, which is basically a inspection, testing, and maintenance software program that helps track fire protection systems and how often they're inspected and maintained. So it's a pretty cool program. We're going to do a trial run with it for 12 months, see how it works. There's about 40 fire departments in the state of Oregon that are currently using it. The best of our knowledge, we're the first in Yamaha County to explore this program, but we reached out to a couple other medium-sized departments that are using it and got really good feedback. So we're hoping that it's going to improve our efficiency and tracking of fire protection system testing in the district. So pretty excited. We sent pre-notices out to our vendors who will be involved in the program, and the program goes live on August 15th. That's all I have, and happy to entertain any questions from the board.
John will get everything staffed up for the fair, that's always good.
All right.
Good job on getting stuff staffed up for the fair, that's always a good lift.
Thank you. Yeah, we learned a lot last year. We showed up on Monday, and that was a mistake. So this year we got there early.
That'd be the animals then.
Yes, yes. It's actually
It's
quite true. Yes, I might for sure last year.
Chief, maybe a plan on, but not, can you give us an update on appointments?
Appointments.
Appointments.
Yep, it's next one. Anything else?
No, sir.
I don't have an ops update from ops or training, but I'm going to give you one. We have been out on 4 configurations this year, technically 5. But 4 since July 1st, the county has sent out on 6. We just got back last week from about a 95,000 acre fire. We've had task force leaders, brush one twice, task force leader twice, and then Mr. Mayfield twice on the incident management teams. So some of them are the same fire, which is why I say some of them are on the same fires, but everything's going really well. Mechanic Brad Stern has done an excellent job. When our rigs have gotten back, it's a huge plus having him. As soon as those rigs come in, he takes everything out of the shop, brings those rigs in, air filters, fuel, oil, all the stuff that, quite frankly, was those catastrophic failures we talked about a year ago before hiring that position. And he's got the stuff in stock. He turns them around the same day, and they're back in service ready to roll. We are already back up, believe it or not. We just got back 4 days ago, and we're already back up for task force leader type thing. So we did buy a Starlink device for the first rig that goes out of deployment. We ran into an issue this last deployment where they were very remote and they had no comms. They had no radio or cell comms, and that's not really something that I can go to sleep at night knowing, quite frankly. So we just got that actually today, set it up now. It's a huge plus to at least be able to call 911 or call the incident commander if you were truly in trouble. So the state works really hard on setting up, but sometimes you're just so remote that there's just not a lot you can do. So the technology's there, and we used it this last fire and this one. The majority of our new hires are online. We do still have 2 that are writing thirds, but the majority of the rest of them are online, covered shifts and vacancies. So right now, we're only 1 person short. We are working on a recruitment right now, and a posting right now. Is it nice soon? I met on it today. So we'll get that out. And then we're working on AIC captain and AIC driver. If you want to call it tests, but examinations or processes. From a training perspective, Chief Shope is probably just barely above water after 4, 5, 6 weeks. He's doing a great job. He's really just kind of looking at training records and kind of what our steps forward. We're trying to be really, this year our goal is to just think outside the box. What can we do differently? What have we always done because we said we always did it? And how can we be more efficient? How can we get our career staff better trained, fire side of things? And we've come up with a couple, 2 or 3, what we believe to be good ways to try and help them get that training. We're going to be meeting at labor management in August to discuss some options. But we're really trying to work outside the box, making sure that our guys and gals are trained and they have the tools, toolbox. Questions on those?
A question, just when we deploy, does it impact our ability to respond with this?
It does not. So we go, I think I've said this, but we go through a pretty rigorous process. We're not a checkbox go. We look at several things. We look at, can we afford it? Did we budget for it? If we get budget, that's the first thing. Second thing is, do we have the people and the equipment? So do we have the people to go and do we have the capacity? Third thing we look at is, do we have the staff? Can we fill those positions? Can they be covered? And those type of things. And all of those go into the matrix before we say yes. We're doing something a little bit different this year. Chief Hanfin has taken it over since Chief Law is now Dayton Fire Chief. And every Monday, all agencies in the state of Oregon, but every Monday we report to the Office of State Fire Marshal availability. We've always done that, and Chief Law's done a great job at that. We've taken it kind of 1 step forward. I've asked Chief Hanfin to, before she marks on there that we're available to deploy, that we check staffing and we check availability before we mark that we're So it's not just, yes, we can afford it, yes, we have the vehicle, it's yes, we can afford it, yes, we have the vehicle, yes, we have the staff. That will be done prior to every Monday. It also helps our crews because they know who's up. So in the event we do get deployed, it's not a secret that you are on type 6 today, and you're the task force leader. It should never be a secret technically, but sometimes we're not sure. There's a group of 6 that can go, and now we gotta figure out what 6 can go. The last fire that we were on, the Grand Fire, that was a hurry up and right now go. We didn't have the 2 hours that were allotted to get out the door. It was get your stuff, get on the vehicle, drive the Dundee, and get out of here. And they did just that. They saw a lot of fire, fought a lot of fire. So it's a real rounded approach that I'm pretty stuck on. That we make sure that we're protecting the district, we can afford it, and protecting it from both a operational perspective, but also aspect.
Thank you for the additional clarity and for giving all that. I should appreciate that. Do you expect busy wildland season in summer?
Yeah, we were told at the fire chiefs conference in April, whatever it was, that hold on for August. It's going to be a real bad August. That's what all the fire predictors were predicting in our first confirmation June 2nd. So we swung and missed on that one, which means I'm assuming it's not going to get better. Excuse me. So yeah, we're actually well prepped to go. And crews have gotten significant kudos. Our crews that we have sent, both volunteer and career. This isn't just a career deployment. We also reach out to our volunteers. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback from our crews. We had a lot of IA fires, the initial attack firefight on this last fire, which isn't common for the structural resources. That's not normally their role. But the size of fire and the amount of fires are going. But they need to do. So. Hiring update. We did make a job offer to a finance person. I'm not going to announce the person yet, just because they're in background, and I have a policy that I don't do that until after the person has passed their backgrounds, as well as their medicals and such. This person comes with a very large amount of municipal finance and budgeting at a large fire department, about 28 years worth, and many other educational as well as extracurricular background. They were interviewed by 6 of our staff that got it down to a couple of options. She is very excited to come here, and like I said, working hard with our background person to get that done, get it through, so that we can get her on board. So more to follow, and of course I'll update you as soon as I have that info. I will open the board meeting. The House Bill 5006, the governor did not veto. First of all, it was approved and signed. The governor did not veto. I have reached out to Representative Elmer's office for next steps moving forward. It is lottery dollars. Lottery dollars are usually later in the process than the beginning. We are setting up a meeting with Rep. Elmer's office, myself, President Garvin, just to talk, expectations, any information they have, so that we can start planning. And if they're making sure that we understand what the House bill requires, and then obviously what Rep. Elmer's expectations were or are, as that money was allocated, if you will, or put into both Allen bills, if you will. So, and of course, that will all come to the board. Any decisions on that money, any decisions on the path forward are board decisions. Of course, I will make recommendations as I see it best practice, if you will. But all of those, and there will be multiple options, not just one. maybe would win, but I'll bring a couple options, and then, like I said, the board gets that decision, and or any other feedback or things that you would like me or staff to look into. But it is exciting. And last but not least, the Yamhill County Fair. We've had great partnership with all of our emergency response personnel and the fair board and staff. We've done walkthroughs on all 3 shifts to include the volunteers last night. We've met multiple times with representatives from the fair. Actually, Janet did our walkthroughs. Thank you, Janet, very much for the last 3 days. One of them last night. That's on her own personal time, so that was quite a time commitment. But the crews, I think, appreciated it. We have a lot of new staff, as you know, not a lot of new volunteers. Many that have not been out there before. And as I told you, we did switch a few things up this year. There will be a staff chief out there every night of the 4 nights. Chief Darby, Chief Hannafin, myself, and then Aaron, that order from Wednesday to Saturday. Aaron unfortunately drew the short stick, although we all have short sticks since it's nighttime. But that's one thing that I asked my staff to do this year. The fair has grown. It's a very popular event. It's the oldest
In Oregon.
in Oregon county fair, and it's very popular and populated. So it's real important to me that we have good command and control out there. We've met with our emergency response partners. We do have a plan that I'm not going to speak of, but we do have a plan in the event of an issue with our partners and with the fair staff. The fair board did allow us to have staff this year differently than we have in the past. We are still working with all county partners. There is representation from almost all other Yamhill County fire agencies at the first aid station, but we also will have at least 1 paramedic and 1 EMT at the fair during the peak hours, which is obviously at the peak hours. So thank you to the fair and the board. So I'm very comfortable with this year. I also want to put a shout out. Chief Hannafin is working with the tribe, the Grand Ron tribe. They have loaned us their emergency management, has loaned us their air conditioning tent. So we will have a first aid station that is air conditioning capable of, number 1, keeping people private if we have to treat them, but number 2, having a cool environment for us to treat if we have to. And then she's also operating the vehicles that will be out there, not just for the standby, but they also have the demolition derby and rodeo. And then Chief Darby and his staff, I'm 100% positive this is the first time in a long time that we've been fully staffed at the fire and life safety trailer, and they did a really good job staffing this year. So it's a super popular trailer, and you know, as you all remember, Yamhill County and Garvin Auto helped us with that purchase of that pickup, and they were supporting it because of that trailer. So that's how we got the $10,000 from the county. We allow it to be used in the county. Amity's borrowed it. Tribe has borrowed it. So we keep it open to other entities as well as ourselves. So it'd be a good fair. Come by. Great concerts. And that's all I have. Unless there's questions.
Any questions around fire chief report?
Did you tell them thanks?
Well,
And I had never put this last year.
Question.
Tell them,
That's
good group, don't tell them this year.
The drawing wasn't great.
No, and also, thank you to Janet. I am also a I'm a cookie judging eating contest extraordinaire. So, I will be eating cookies again this year. It just so happens to fall on Friday. Crazy.
Next up, we have correspondence. Any board member getting correspondence from anyone? The last Saturday morning, I had a text message from our task force leader in BC Burton. That expresses thanks and make sure that chief was recognized for his over to the state and back excursion of 6.5 hours to get them started. That was his personal start. That's one, yeah. And that, a communication department earlier, but we felt the function that he was the one that delivered that fairly, so. I want to make sure he was recognized for that, and I realize that's the kind of extra effort to be able to make sure that our district is, when we sit down, have the ability to perform, so thank you. Next up, we have informational items, any informational items? Hearing none, our next meeting will be Thursday, August 28th, 2025, that's in Train Station 1. And thank you everybody for joining us on Zoom and in person.
Joe's back.